Welcome back to the World Semifinals. Here you can see the World's MVP trophy, which will be awarded next week based on votes from a panel made up of representatives from around the world. And as Fnatic hope to lock their spot in the finals, well, we've got Champion Select right here. Let's get into it. Fnatic hoping for a 3-0 sweep of Cloud9.
Let's see here. Fnatic sticking to the same bans with Zillion, Nocturne, Alistar, C9 again, Akali, Irelia. And they take away the LeBlanc that was first picked in game one by Fnatic.
It really does seem like Caps here and Fnatic with the extra hand as far as the Assassins mid lane, giving them a lot in Champion Select. Cloud9 once again will go with this combo though. Early Xin Zhao with the defensive Braum.
But Fnatic just first picked Aatrox, and Victor was not picked by C9 as an answer. Last game when they had the Victor, they put it in the bottom lane. Fnatic can now grab it, and the Aatrox counter pick that we have seen a lot is gone.
Yeah, Cloud9 have had other counter picks to Aatrox as well, you know, like the Hecarim as well as, you know, basically anything
Jace,
with a lot of
everything.
speed. Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of things here.
But I like this adaptation though. Cloud9 have locked in Illusion in the first phase. Finally, it was consistently banned away in the second ban phase, so now C9 get their ideal bot lane duo. The only ban they've received for this entire role is the Alistar. This is what they wanted to play. It's what led them to a lot of victory in the Afrika 3-0. So now maybe C9 have that bastion of power they really want in the bottom lane.
Definitely agreed that it's a good choice here for them. I like the Lee Sin ban as well. They left it open in the first game and Broxah took over.
Meanwhile, Fnatic with both solo lanes possibly locked in here. You know, Aatrox can be shifted to the jungle, but likely both solo lanes locked in, whereas Cloud9 still to determine. I expect Cloud9 to save their counter pick for Jensen. Licorice has a deeper champion pool, it feels like, more answers than Jensen has had. As far as the mid lane goes, maybe they want to jump on something early for him, though, because he doesn't have quite as many. You know, the Lissandra is up. That's what they've played over and over here.
Right. Yeah, we obviously assume that most of the focus early game is around the bottom side where you have your Lucian pick. Do we get a tank top lane from Licorice? His Shen and Ornn has been two of the most used ones from him.
So the Poppy has been his best answer into Aatrox as far as tanks go, if you're looking for a tank answer. And that is another one that they could go with. But yeah, there's the Lissandra they want to lock in for Jensen over and over again. And
Zaya comes through for Fnatic, so Reckless on another high damage champion. He was a big force in the previous game. He's going to have a decent chance at it here, and Rek'Sai comes through for Fnatic. I love that new things keep showing up during this final, what could be the final game, I should say, our last semifinal series at least.
Broxah threw out an Elise game earlier in the tournament.
Yep.
Now he's just going to throw out a Rek'Sai game here. This is a champion that does have early game power. You have burst damage, as well as a single target knockup now, and he can go for more creative jungle ganks. This is one of the ones where you'll see going over walls behind duo lanes or top laners easily.
Okay, and they're gonna go round two on the Echo top to face off what they assume to be Victor up there, and that seems very likely. This is going to be an interesting one. In the previous game, Svenskeren had maybe a bit of a fumble, giving a bit too much pressure over to Whippo. Whippo had his way with Licorice. You might also see these champions switch roles as the swaps can go back and forth. I'm going to be interested to see which matchups we actually have player versus player, top versus top, and mid versus mid.
And then also see if it is the Echo versus Victor top, can we get a bit more jungle attention towards the C9? They keep swapping it around.
We're just
right
going to
now.
wait until 20 seconds. Now, of course, Jensen had a famous Echo mishap before. They're going to give it over to Licorice. It's going to be Jensen 3 times in a row on the Lissandra, and it is that Echo and Victor locked in for the top laners. We assume they will go to the top lane, but that is still not a guarantee.
Sure. Recap, though, from game one when we had this matchup. Early trades in favor of Licorice. He even used early TP back to lane to continue to pressure against the Victor. However, the first gank that came in from Svenskeren ended up backfiring. He died, gave a kill over to Whippo, and then we also saw Licorice die to a counter gank from Fnatic, and the lane started swinging towards the Victor.
And that was also after Broxah had already ganked mid lane and gotten Fnatic the advantage in mid lane as well. So junglers, a huge amount of weight on their shoulders in influencing the early lane phase for these solo lanes, and which one of these guys can actually take over the game.
It's going to be an exciting one here. Cloud9's backs against the wall. They are no strangers to reverse sweeps here in League of Legends on their road towards Worlds, and even beyond that one. Fnatic, though, coming into the championship as the hope of the West, the European champions. They were the one people had pegged as the dark horse to make the deep run. And they have 3 chances in a row now to make it to the final. The first time Europe has done that since 2011 when they started it all. And Fnatic would be against the team that they had beaten in the group stage in Invictus. So much confidence, maybe you call it cockiness on Reckless and the rest of Fnatic. They think they can win this entire thing. So far, they have been the far better team compared to C9. And we'll see if they can do it here. Cloud9 must make this 3 in a row.
Hylissang jumped over the wall early on. Let's see if they can sneak in behind anyone. Might be Zazol sitting in this little brush here.
Yeah, he's waiting on his cooldown right now.
Huge trade.
A lot of anticipation for the Braum Q. It does land, so
Yeah.
no points there for accuracy. We do have a defensive Poro, but that is about it. Everybody, after seeing the attempt here, just happy to back off, and should just be normal red starts for both junglers, but we'll see about the pathing as far as which lane they want to influence first, as this could be easily tilted.
Right now, Fnatic were protecting for the level 1 invade that actually happened also in game 1 when Zazol had the Braum and he walked in and forced Broxah away from the red buff. He had to take his own blue on top side, and it gave an early advantage over to C9, but not this time. Rek'Sai gets the best start possible with a giant leash as well from Rex and Hylissang.
And a good start for Licorice here as well, plenty of damage. Electrocute Troggered as well. Triggered, there we go, that's the word. Proc was in the middle of my brain as well.
Yeah, Bwipo gets 3 autos on the way out, though, to almost even up that health trade, I think. And they're right back after trying to push us forward. Minion wave slightly in his favor. Svenskeren actually started the sweeper here. Interesting, trying to take down this Scuttle Ward before he moves over to the top side of the map. And this time around, kind of like we set up in game number 1, the option for Svenskeren to try and split the map here and close off the top side of the map to allow Licorice his solo 1v1 time in this matchup to really try and display the Echo into Victor.
He did go mid here instead of invading on the top side. Will go and grab his own buff on the bottom side here while Licorice gets a good trade against Bwipo. Meanwhile, Broxah's love to do this like red buff into a camp. Oh, he's ganking.
Walking forward, finds the flash knockup. Jet's able to E away, though, losing some health, but not a summoner spell. That was a very aggressive gank out of Broxah and doesn't get a whole lot for it.
Yeah, junglers have traded sides. They both pass through mid. Svenskeren now making another pass there. Jensen can't set him up, though, and Broxah will be able to chase down. Actually, he pulls out of the jungle. Svenskeren coming back and trying to secure his own red side.
Yeah, with the mid lane pushing against Fnatic, invading here would have been pretty greedy. He got the ward down to spot. Sven is still not taking a blue buff. He did Rift Scott on the top side, then did the one on the bottom side. Broxah will secure his own blue here. But first gank with the flash unsuccessful from Fnatic, and the Rek'Sai pick, the big surprise.
The big trade in the mid lane, but Jensen so far has been able to play pretty well against this one, able to trigger Aftershock every time and get away from most of these plays, and so far so good for him. Still has a bunch of corrupting potion stacks as well. The Cap still has his potion for the lane on top of that.
Meanwhile, checking in on the bottom lane here, Lucian Braum, what Cloud9 used against the Freak of Freaks for a lot of bottom lane presence, has been able to push in. But Reckless and Hylissang doing just fine in CS there, actually ahead. And with a couple extra minions here, Sneaky might be able to catch right back up.
Yeah, so far an equal lane down here, not a huge surprise just yet. We're going to wait to see if the big aggressive plays do come in. A flash with Broxah might give a lot more confidence to the C9 squad. Still waiting for that play. Watch out for the feathers, though. Can pull them back, and Sneaky gets rooted up, and a knock-up, and he just walks into him. He's going to die to the Ignite. There's no way out. First blood comes through to Hylissang. A huge, massive misplay out of Sneaky.
Saw something kind of similar when he played against Uzi and walked into the feathers right behind them. Reckless with the callback right there, able to just spring the trap, take down Sneaky, and acquire first blood for Fnatic.
See the setup again. 2 feathers behind, 3, and then Sneaky actually, yeah, simply just walks in right where the feathers were placed, and quick pullback from Reckless. And this is such a big problem now because this was the big change for you in the draft. We've seen the Echo already, we've seen the Lissandra, but the Lucian pick in the first phase, it was always banned by Fnatic in the second phase. He grabs it this time around, and now he's losing lane early on due to Reckless landing the snare onto him.
And it's a 1,000 gold lead now for Fnatic. That's way more than just the first blood itself. So across the board, a great start here for the EU LCS champions. Back-to-back victories over in Europe. They lived in G2's shadow for quite a while, but a couple of victories here. Hylissang joining the roster this time around, Bwipo as well in this year, and it's been a very good run now winning in their potential last game in the semifinals.
Yeah, this has definitely been the best way to bounce back and become the #1 team in Europe, become the powerhouse again that every European fan always looked towards when it came down to international performances. Fnatic have done everything right in 2018.
Reckless has talked a lot about it himself in interviews as well, about his own change from previous Fnatic iterations and his confidence in his teammates' playmaking ability this time around. Does feel like they're firing on all cylinders. Cloud9 looking to fire around mid lane as they've got 3 people grouped up around Caps. Svenskaren's on a ward. Zazel's
be the play.
off.
They find the root. Keep in mind, Caps has ult. He's going to pop that here. He'll be able to get away after the revive. Health bar will be at about 1/8, but he's still able to slink backwards.
So C9 went behind in the early game. Once again, look towards mid. Svenskeren and Zazel were sitting in these brushes for at least 30 seconds, waiting
Caps is
for an
low.
opening. Caps is
Jensen's
very low.
flash ult. If they go for the dive, he's in E into flash ult range. Caps could die. He's got teammates. Not going to go for that play. Jensen pulls aggro. Caps only at 300 HP. Has his own flash, of course, keep in mind.
Hylissang is also around. He's sitting with the team now under this turret. Meanwhile, top.
Trade ults up here. This is Licorice getting quite low. Has to make sure he can respect everything else. Does he ult back for the trade? He could ult back and go for more fights. No, it's already on cooldown. Sorry, takes that back. He burned it in a prior fight. So Bwipo gets Licorice incredibly low, and Licorice without TP is going to stay low in this lane.
You can always tell if there's no ghost following Echo.
I wasn't paying attention.
He can't go back to it. If you're playing against one of that champion, then it will be an easy indicator for the...
Next time, say spectator, Buck.
No.
There you go.
No, that's on me. I'm a better player than that normally. I'm just rusty or terrible or something else. Who knows? Either way, 600 gold difference in Cloud9 now looking at the bottom side, but walking through wards while they're doing it. And it's pretty easy for Reckless to back off and stay safe here.
So what we expected from the draft with the Illusion Braum, some attention towards this lane here, see if they could actually push it in, potentially tower dive, or just take the turret. It is still full HP. Obviously, the first kill went over to Reckless, but we see the control of the bot side now.
Yeah, especially since there's an Infernal Drake on the map. A lot of pressure around bottom side will give you some pretty big rewards here. Svenskeren goes in.
Bit of decent damage, and it's actually going to be minions denied away regardless. Fnatic not going to get this cannon for gold. They will get XP on Reckless's side, but it is money being lost on the map right now. So this pressure, it's not a kill, but it's several hundred gold lost all the same.
Caps is potentially moving down. There's no TP from Jensen. Will force C9 away. Even Caps just sitting in a brush here, hiding out of vision. He knows he doesn't need to walk all the way down. He just needs to have the chance. And C9 needs to call that he's missing from mid lane, so they have to watch out.
Nice bit of knockups there. Caps gonna land 2 sweet spots, make it almost all 3. The self-ult for Jensen, but his healing is cut in half. Now looking for the re-engage. Caps will take some damage, but walking away pretty cleanly. Flash still up, no danger to him.
And his ult will come up pretty quickly as well. The World Ender is coming off cooldown, but Cloud9 are pushing on all lanes at the moment, trying to keep Fnatic bottled up and force them into more defensive playstyle, which has found a little bit of success here early on as all the vision control in the river is on Cloud9's side.
Yeah, C9 basically had all the tools to actually snowball this early game. Good lane setup, early jungler with Cao, top lane.
Licorice is out of mana. He actually can't ult back anyway, so they're going to quickly reveal him. The knockup is almost a formality, and this will be the kill. There is no way out. Broxa knocks down Licorice in the top lane.
Able to find the kill here, and now they can push out the top lane. This is going to completely turn the tides here for Fnatic.
No TP, can't rejoin. It's a really good thing now for the EULCS champions. 900 gold ahead. Winning across the map everywhere. Even bot lane looks pretty solid.
Exactly.
Recalls come through.
And you said this before, I feel like C9 had the lanes to keep the pressure going in the early game. They even had Broxa blow his flash on the first gank and not get anything for it, with a Xin Zhao jungle on the other side, but then with Sneaky dying in the bottom lane, getting outplayed by the Feathers, and now a gank top side from Broxa that gives him a kill. Fnatic have just completely stopped C9 from getting ahead in this game.
Yep, definitely respect to Fnatic, outclassing today, setting themselves up, looking towards IG and how dominating they were in their semifinal.
Yep.
This built a lot of hype as far as the possible final matchup between those two teams.
And it does look Fnatic favor, but it is not out of reach just yet. I do want to keep ourselves on what C9 can do so far in this game. Only 1,000 apart. Infernal Drake can kind of bridged that gap really closely as far as stats are concerned, and this seems to be a pretty free pickup here as well. So I think we are completely within arm's reach here in Game 3. Cloud9, of course, must make a reverse sweep. They must win 3 in a row, and that is the prayer from everyone, all the North American fans here and the C9 players themselves in this series.
We're just kind of waiting for C9 to look for a big play, because they need that. It's not the small wins anymore. Like, bottom side, when you have Illusion versus Azaya, you're going to get outscaled. But in the early game, even now when it is just even in CS and you're down 1 kill, you have enough damage with a jungler coming down, or Lissandra. Another trade top lane.
That's a nice stun from Whippo. He's going to get damage to Licorice. There's the self-ult backwards, but going to be Whippo kiting away. Nicely done, gets out of that fight. Licorice comes out ahead in HP, but Whippo still has a lot of tools to use.
And the positioning is so important in that 1v1, as you can see. Well, now we've got another one in mid lane.
It's a pretty close fight here, and not quite the sweet spot, but pretty good damage all the same. And Jensen keeps himself out of range.
Yeah, so the positioning there, you can see Whippo moving up. Never mind, we're gonna have another fight.
Yeah, they're battling back and forth. He's staying alive, but now we've got another battle. It's in different spots of the map now as Sven's gonna go in for the fight. The ult to buy some time. No damage just yet. Brock's getting a bit low. Now the root on the catch. He's got a lot of time to go until he's forced to revive, and that is a great pick up with the flash forward. Now the turnaround, but they're gonna burn him down with the revive, and about 600 HP now on this Aatrox, but they will get the trade kill, and C9 are on the board.
Oh, let's see if Fnatic's bot lane can do anything. Looks like they're too far away for now. Oh, and here we go.
The charm is on, but they're not going to find the knockup just yet. Actually, they get nothing out of this one, and Reckless could be stunned. They're not going to find that, though, and out goes Fnatic. But here is the TP. Here is the trade fight. Looking for the big play is Licorice. The flash of the wall. Hillsong is going to stay safe.
Teleport used to the bottom lane. That means up top side, Whippo is going to get damage on that turret as Cloud9 try and retreat. That will also allow him a full reset and sync up the extra cooldown.
I mean, we said we needed a big play from C9. Not a small win, but they had to go for that.
Oh, he's blasting over! Zazel flash puts the shield up. He'll stay alive with Guardian. A lot of summoners burned. I think it's actually a disadvantageous trade as Fnatic burned 3.
Well, let's just look at summoners all across the board right here. Licorice blew his TP, got a flash from Hylissang for it. That was basically it. Jensen, no flash on his side. Zazel, same thing due to the last fight. But, as you highlighted here, Freak, everything gone from Fnatic's bottom lane. Only Whippo sitting with a flash on his side, so there's a lot of openings the next minute or two for more fights to happen and people dying.
And we really want to emphasize that use of the teleport for Cloud9. Trying to put emphasis on the team play there and pull something out of the jungle. Licorice actually lost a lot of CS teleporting away from the lane. As you can see now, Whippo getting off the recall as well, so you get an extra reset for this Victor, and he's already been able to solo burn that Echo ultimate and retake a lot of control of this top lane presence. Now he also has a stopwatch to use for a possible all-in. You really do need to keep those key items in mind when you go for these big plays.
There's so much space in this lane to move out of the stun every single time, so Licorice can't lock him down, but I feel like this game reminds me a lot about the last game with C9 having tools to make plays bot lane, but always moving it mid lane, where Fnatic are able to answer and match the aggression almost every time. But now we're back. This is what I want to see. Get this bot lane turret down, blocks the feathers as well. Svenskeren is constantly hovering around the lane. They need this turret here. They need a win on this bot side to actually get sneaky ahead.
And it's down to 20%. This would be the first time I think Cloud9 would get first turret in this series. They've gotten very few turrets themselves throughout the 2.5 games so far, and it is very low. Still, it's C9 choking through a 1,300 gold deficit as we have Whippo on a very big lead here. He's got a level up. He's been bullying continually against Licorice, who's forced to ult, but he's still taking damage from the Chaos Storm. Finally getting away from that one, but this is still a huge advantage. Top lane has won every single game for Fnatic's new top laner.
Yeah, Whippo in his rookie year as well. Just dominating up here, playing so aggressively in these matchups. Now Caps is going to join him. He's already solo burned again the Echo ultimate, so Licorice doesn't have that.
He's putting the shield up, going to look for the stun against Caps. Nice little knock up there. It should still be him getting away from the knockback, but look at the damage output. It's forcing the flash out, so Licorice really pushed away. He's going to lose all of this farm.
So we get a trade right here. C9 got the bot lane turret. Fnatic will take the top lane. Like you guys mentioned, Whippo in his rookie year. Because if you go back 12 months, no one knew about this player.
Yeah.
He was literally sitting in the TCL doing almost nothing. And then Fnatic out of nowhere signed this player as a substitution. He didn't play most of the spring split. It was all about Soaz, but he got in when Soaz injured his hand in playoffs, and he surprised everyone. Aggressive performance, you know, able to play tanks and carries. Had a very famous interview right after the spring final where he said, "I will be the best top laner." People called him out and said, "Oh, that's a little bit cocky right there." But he's actually shown now, during Worlds, that he is the best in Europe.
It's a fight on a Brox, stun and a knock-up, and Zeyzal managing to snag another kill, but now it's bad for Sneaky. He flashed, but the Ignite is still too much, and Caps finds that kill in the 2-1-1, trades across the map, and now coming down, looking to fight up against Zeyzal and Svenskar, and the shield comes up, but when is the engage coming through? They found the first sweet spot, they're finding the re-engage now as Jensen rejoins the fight, but Sven's running out of health. He's sure to be knocked down. Caps is reviving. He's going to be fine here. Now look for Reckless as he jumps in the air, brings back the feathers. Not a kill just yet, but Jensen's still getting low. He's trying to get away, finds the root, finds just barely the disengage. He'll stay alive, but it's Fnatic with so much more, summoning the Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, they had just taken Rift Herald, so even chasing off Jensen there, even though they don't get the kill, they can still take this mid turret, get the objective for themselves, and again, a big early game lead for themselves.
2-1 in turrets, and again, look at that gold. 1,600 puts Fnatic ahead. Another charge for Shelly as well. They have been the better team today. They've only dropped 2 games all of Worlds. Very few teams make the finals with that kind of record, but they're looking at it right here. Fnatic have been very good. They're going to grab this Mountain Drake without a problem as well. Push them farther and farther ahead. Edging ever closer to that 3-0 semifinals victory.
Let's see with the map right now. After bot lane turret drop a little bit earlier. Fnatic have moved to the top side instead, and Sneaky trying to do the exact same. He needs more turrets for his team. And that's where, sadly for him, he ends up face checking in.
Yeah, there's no getting out of that one.
Nope.
Ignite goes down, and that is the kill for Caps. As we know, it didn't end there. They try and chase C9, exiting the jungle, and they are able to get the engage when Caps lands the sweet spot on the long-range Q.
Just the ult in time by Caps obviously means it's just the 1-0. Good plays out of Reckless, kind of zones them back, and C9 just barely getting away, but now a re-engage. This battle is continuing. Caps without the ult, this time around certain to die, and it will go to Svenskar.
Another little fight. Broxer will end up jumping away.
Nice play there.
One thing that Cloud9 have said all tournament long, they are not afraid to fail. Even if they go for kills, go for ganks, and they do not work out, they will keep fighting. So they're staying true to that here, and they're still looking for the kills. That's what they have to do.
And it is C9 picking up a lot. Echo got a lot of alone time down in the bottom lane, shoving that wave in. Of course, the turret's already gone, but they're still picking up farm and getting their teammates a little bit closer.
Constant invades right here. Cap simply not able to get away due to the CC coming in. Will eventually drop down, but it's been a crazy game where every time we are in a replay, we know the moment replay is over, another fight happens.
Play continues once again. A big knock from the front line. They can knock him down. An ult from Zeyzal. Ziggy trying to run away. He's ultiless for now.
Or the TP.
And he's going to be going for the re-engage as the teleports come through. Licorice in, and they're going to find Hylissang. Cloud9 look for a second. The ult on top, and they will get 2 kills. C9, but for what feels like the first time all series, have a lead.
Yeah, exactly. They got the top lane turret before, then they move action straight to the mid lane. It was Fnatic engaging onto C9's bottom lane, but they didn't actually get the kill, and double flank suddenly happens. One side is an Echo, the other side is a Lissandra. And C9, they pick up a bunch of kills. They've gotten 3 out of turrets. They have an Infernal Drake.
We've got a lot more confidence now as well, but Whippo still has the level lead. Still the farm lead as well. The Fnatic top laner has been instrumental in Fnatic victory so far, and now we watch the Ace of Predator replay of that mid lane fight.
All right, this one starts out Reckless trying to pull back the feathers, and for this one, as Hylissang goes in, he does get the knockup, but Sneaky kites back on Lucian long enough for the teleport to come in for Cloud9. Licorice, once he walks up, they're able to completely burst down Hylissang and get the 5-member convergence to get the extra kill.
Zeyzal played that fight perfectly. Blocks all the initial damage, then gets the knockup onto all the Fnatic members when Sneaky CC'd. After the knockup is gone, then Sneaky can actually dash away and avoid more damage. Kept him alive and set up a beautiful flank from Cloud9 here. They still have TP in the bot lane. Whippo does not. He has to move to mid here. Another fight, of course.
Glacial Tomb is up again as well, so C9 again want to walk forward.
They also have the teleport on Licorice still. He just walked to the last fight.
This is going to be the engage. Here comes Hylissang's going to find a single knock and then kites right back. Licorice is going to look for that TP eventually. He's coming in late though. The re-engage towards Caps. He'll revive. Jensen forced to self-ult to stay alive as Whippo had come through. But now that jump forward, Licorice trying to find it. Feathers fly. He's going to look for that one and not quite getting anything picked up just yet. It's a disengage on both sides.
Nobody died right here. A lot of summoners once again. on cooldown, so it's hard to go too aggressive knowing you don't have flash yourself.
Also knowing Baron now is on the table. We're just past the 20-minute mark now. So if they do snowball one of those big fights, you'll get a Baron and it will be a very big win. Also, we've got another Infernal Drake that will come up next, so we're gonna keep the action going in this semifinal.
Fits the theme of this game here. Aggression, both sides. Fnatic were trying, at least for a moment, to slow down the game after they had the big advantage. But C9 said, you know what, we don't care if we're behind. We'll just keep invading your jungle, keep fighting you everywhere. And they've actually been successful. Sneaky, while he's not picking up kills. He's picking up 3 assists, he's ahead in farm. He does have his Blade of Ruin King completed. No Black Cleaver just yet. Yeah. But once he gets it, the damage here in the mid game is pretty insane.
Yeah, right now, both bot laners just slightly waiting a little bit longer for that second item spike to come through. Right now, probably favors Sneaky. He has most of the attack damage he wants. And now a play towards the top side. Caps does not have the ulti, but he's not going to be knocked up either. C9 could not get their way in. Caps kiting away. Now Licorice gets the shield, but he's still forced to run. Whippo gonna flash in for a bit more. This time around, it's just gonna be Licorice getting away, burning his flash to save his ultimate.
Yeah, traded summoner spells right there, traded ultimates as well, but in the end, Licorice left with very little HP, and Whippo wants to force him out.
Re-engage, the potential stun comes through, now the shield is on, and Whippo is without an escape route. But Licorice can't get quite the damage he needs, as Whippo kites away, gets the shield as well, and back over the wall.
Feels so safe with the shield from his Q. A fairly low cooldown, just constantly looking for these trades, and now we get a move from C9. There's no turret behind Whippo.
Oh, they're almost behind him already. Whippo pretty quick.
This is a nice move by Sneaky. There's actually no way out now for Whippo, but can he outplay this fight in the 1v3? And what can his team do on the other side of the map? A big slow comes in as Licorice can feel comfortable, but the stun still buys a lot of time, and there's nowhere to go. He's gonna try to give no assists over. He's certain to fall. When the team finally shows up, and they're gonna make sure the Licorice does get the kill with assist credit going over to the support.
All right, Fnatic, nothing else they can do during that time as well. You can see on the mini-map here, just going for recalls across the board. Whippo very far pushed up, and Cloud9 pull the trap closed.
Licorice, though, low on resources. TP is available for the Victor to come down, but no one else is coming on this side of the map.
And with Infernal spawning in 5 seconds, C9 could just start it straight away. Whippo's there for 15. There's nothing Fnatic can really do without him. Unless they want to risk a 4 versus 5 because they know he can TP it after.
Maybe so. C9 missed a single ward sweeping around the Baron pit. There's that one that Fnatic sees. They know there's no crazy plays coming out here, but now this fight around the bottom river. Can they find a trap as Broxa is with the Tremor Sense?
And he's Victor. He's TPing in behind.
This could be the fight, and Licorice already so low. He seems to have overstayed his welcome. An easy shutdown, and now Fnatic, they can bring the trap closed in a 5v4. Here comes the engage. Caps right on front, looking to do what the Shy did just yesterday. A bit of damage now, and the re-engage coming across. A big stun on the front line. Here comes the rest of the squad, as Zazel's already gone. Svenskeren burning. He's gonna drop as well. A double kill for Broxa. He's a madsman into the back line. They've already found 3 kills. C9 push off Summoner's Rift.
And that fight is going to be infernal and a possible Baron for Fnatic. Whippo gets revenge in the biggest way here, teleporting out on Victor, and they cut off Licorice.
All started here in the bottom lane when Licorice was caught by Caps. He was chased down, he eventually dies, and when the fight breaks open, it's just knock-up after knock-up from Fnatic. C9 had every opportunity to just take the Infernal Drake when it spawned, but they looked for more fights. They felt like that was the way to win the game, and it backfired.
And it's going to be Baron as a formality. 24 minutes in, make sure no one's there. Slain and picked up. Fnatic up 2,000 gold, ready for more.
Licorice trying to get the recall off. Cap stops him. As you know, he gets him extremely low with the Ignite on him as well. Knows that it's going to be a kill, and Whippo gets to come in and collect his revenge. Now, since you're talking about the fish shield, C9 were looking for more kills. They're all on the enemy side, trapped in the middle. Caps goes in with the ultimate. Whippo gets the gravity pullback here, double stunning and allowing them to just decimate the C19 fight.
Massive stuff here. Sneaky able to flash over the wall to get away, but the only living member of Cloud9 is not enough to stop that Baron or the Drake. And now C9 once again on the back foot here. The gold difference about 2,000. Let's see how much Fnatic can get with this Baron power play.
And every single time we get past 20 minutes, Fnatic, they show us better shot calling than on the side of C9. They find these openings here. C9 do not always punish whenever Fnatic makes a mistake. Let's see if we get another fight though. All 5 members from Fnatic are here. Same thing for C9. Caps is moving behind them on the flank.
He's gonna find Zazel. Look at the damage output there. The shield comes up, flash still going away. And this could be the re-engage that Whippo might want to find. A nice knockback comes in, but Svenskaren's still gonna be shattered as big knockup comes through, and Whippo's already found one. It's only been a single trade kill, 2-1 Fnatic. Looking at more. Whippo buys some time. Jensen waiting for his way into this fight. Can they kill Victor? That's gonna be a no. Sneaky is burning down. He's running away. And poor Licorice getting pushed back as well. Fnatic are completely smashing this fight.
It's not done yet either. Fnatic go back in. Caps uses the ultimate. Jensen actually gets out over the Raptor wall, though, and they should be able to scatter.
They scattered away. It's still the 2-for-1. Kobe, I knew it all along, but they're going for more. The base is about to be broken. That turret's gone already, and as the respawns come through, it will be a brief respite. Fnatic will not take the inhib. They will buy their new items. They will push again. They've got a minute and a half left for this Baron buff.
So much gold now for Fnatic. Get everything you want, look for another big team fight. You get the both flanked by Caps, opposed to the early flash from Zazel, and now Whippo is effectively standing in front of 4 players, setting up another great engage for the rest of the team. Hylissang finds the backline. This Rakan pick has been very, very good for Fnatic today.
Yeah, huge burst there from Fnatic. Then it looks like C9 try to go aggressive here. Whippo on the front line, though, as the victor, replenishing his shield, putting out the damage, and they're able to splinter the C9 resistance.
So many champions walked away with under 50 hit points. Both Broxa and Sneaky were inches away from losing their life. You would, of course, called that mid-fight as well as Jensen fought Caps. They both able to run away from this one, but we still have our close game. 4,000 gold, though. This lead has grown. The Baron power play knocked down several turrets in the mid lane. In addition to the team fight that they won already. Cloud9 hoping for something aggressive and something in the fog of war.
The Fnatic Death Brush against Fnatic.
Cloud9 still fighting here with all their heart, going the way that they have gone this entire tournament. Still looking for those plays, looking for the kills. And what a run for them it has been. Looks like Fnatic, though, gonna put a pretty big damper on that run.
I'm waiting for the last big team fight.
Yeah.
If you are C9, you're obviously down in gold. It is looking very, very rough. You got 3 items on your Lucian. You have 2 items right now completed for Jensen in the mid lane. If they find a great engage where they can get on to someone like Whippo or Reckless, they have enough CC and damage to kill them. The problem is there's so much return fire coming in from Fnatic.
Well, Cloud9 hoping this game goes the way of their season. From 10th place to World Semifinals, from a 4,000 gold deficit to a comeback and a reverse sweep in the semis of Worlds itself. Fnatic, though, a lot of dominance this year, back-to-back EU titles and bringing glory back to the continent as well. G2 did great to reach did very well to reach semifinals. Fnatic, though, looking to reach the finals themselves and avenge G2 with a date against Invictus Gaming. If they can close one out, they are the advantage team. They are moments away, you feel like, a single team fight away from clinching it as a 3-0.
The last time a European first seed reached the semifinal at Worlds, it was Fnatic themselves in 2015. The Huni Reignover lineup that so many fans remember. They rebuilt over a couple of years, and now we're here looking at Fnatic making the final for the first time since 2011 when they won the original World Championship.
Hylissang trying to kite away. He's going to find another teammate there to jump back to. He's going to stay alive. No stuns to be had. Nice plays there. And now here comes the re-engage. A nice knockback there. It's pretty good plays out of Whippo, forcing the rest of the scene away. Here is the fight. Here's Caps in the front line, and the health bar is already shattered. Cloud9 scattered to the winds, trying to get in the back line. But look at that one, as Jensen just barely buys a second. But it's already 3 kills. It's going to be the 4th as well. He's trying to buy the time he can, but there's no way out. It's an ace for only 2 trade kills. There is no stopping Fnatic.
They win another fight right now, 3 members alive, and they're looking straight for the Nexus, straight to the final.
And not a single champion can stop them. Fnatic with a 3-0 run in the semis. The first ever world champion hopes to be the latest. North America will not stand in their way. Korea has not stood in their way, and they will apparently have to wait for a bit longer to see if Invictus will as well.
Death Timer stand in their way.
Infernal Drakes will not stand in their way as they head down to take that objective. Here's a look at the replay, though. Cloud9, as we said, they've been fighting this whole tournament. They're looking for more of those fights. They're trying to engage on Fnatic in their own jungle. Whippo does flash out of that big stun, but Cap finds the flank on the 4 members, and it is those 2 guys that have really controlled the area that these team fights have taken place in. The Victor AoE comes through with the Aatrox AoE. They take out so much of the heart of the C9 fight that even though Jensen did find his way into the backline versus Reckless, it didn't matter.
And Reckless' job in that fight was just to try and stay alive against Echo and Lissandra.
Damage.
It's actually insane. Bot lane.
Well, Licorice is on the run. He's trying to get away from Caps. Look how fast he is, though. It's a nightmare coming forward, and the ult's going to land for Broxa as well. They've got the chase. They've got yet another kill. Fnatic, again, 5v4 on the map.
And Fnatic are looking so scary here. On the well, never mind. They might run into this so-called Fnatic brush that you deemed it with the control ward waiting here.
The game interrupts all of us. It's an aggressive one, and one that might send C9 packing here. Fnatic have the space, though, to keep working with it.
There is a reason for that movement, and it is Baron spawning. It is now back on the map, 31 minutes into the game. Fnatic heading back out to the area, and C9 looking to hold it.
15 seconds on Licorice respawn, another 4 to channel teleport. Keep in mind, Fnatic can also just push in mid, and they can knock to the Nexus that way. C9 put over a barrel here. What can they find to get back into this one? Backs against the wall. Baron being attacked already. 6,000 gold lead.
No flash on Victor. Surely he can be the only target. They're going for him.
Going for the big play. The jungler, Cloud9, getting worn down. Bursted out. He's gone already, and Baron's at 2K. Whippo will finally fall, but there's no smite to contest, and Baron is picked up. Cloud9 get a couple of kills, but it's still better on Fnatic's side. The chase in. They found Caps. He does not have flash. He does not have the ultimate. Jumps over the wall as Licorice. Almost the damage. One more auto would knock down the mid lane, and Licorice is still trying. Can he get over? They're now going to go for Reckless, but the feather's flying. He gets away. The Blade Color finds more team, and Sneaky goes down. Broxa in the back line, killing just everybody. A double for the Rek'Sai, and now it's C9 forced to run, but they do not have a way out because Rek'Sai is on the hunt. Licorice finds a single, but he's knocked into the air. The ult's gonna come across, but they're still trying to fight him. He's stuck between a Rek'Sai and a Xayah, and the flash forward is the ace, and Fnatic once again control it all.
Svenskeren is respawning right now to try and kill the minions at the Nexus turrets. Fnatic only 2 players alive right now. We might get another big one before the game is fully over.
It's an 8,000 gold lead for Fnatic right now. There have been 34 kills in this game, and it's only been 32.5 minutes, still ahead of schedule.
It's at least an entertaining one, Kobe, even if it's bittersweet for Cloud9. Farther and farther behind Fnatic, almost assuredly going to be the 3-0 sweep in this one as they knock down more of the structures. They can recall one more time without problems and collect their profits, buy more items, and deal that death blow to North America's last hope.
Oh yes, they're setting up for the last final one. On the side of Fnatic, 4 items right now on Reckless. Caps on the Aatrox. Great early start to the game and been insane in every single team fight so far. We've seen the damage he can deal, same thing for Whippo on the Victor. So all the damage deals already. Side of Fnatic, I feel like everyone has been looking at these fights and saying, yeah, Fnatic are gonna win every single one. But it's always been fights that's been very long, very drawn out, and someone on C9 gets to respawn and defend, giving them one last chance. I'm gonna make that call now. One last chance to defend the Nexus.
All right, let's see what that fight is.
One last chance for North America's one last hope as Fnatic come marching in. They're pushing all side waves up. They have super minions coming down the mid lane. Super Aatrox going up the top lane, and everybody else trying to push through bottom.
Watch the Echo. Watch the Aatrox. Where are Caps and where are Licorice? Is there ever going to be a 5v4 that a team can advantage? Right now, it's Licorice just maybe to lead it at the start as Caps dives him under the turret, forcing him away. Look at the damage output. At least Caps will lose the ultimate, but is there a re-engage for Cloud9? Keep in mind, bots already being attacked. That inhibitor certain to fall. Jensen will get the GA, but there's the attack onto the Nexus turrets, forcing back Sneaky. He's got to be forced back to heal, and a knockup comes through for Broxa as it's 5v3 on the map. Another inhibitor likely to fall as Fnatic just keep waiting for the waves to push down the Nexus. 5v3, and the last hope for the West will be Fnatic, the kings of the West, the kings of Europe. It's going to be Fnatic looking to knock it down in the 5v3 to get those last few kills. A desperate engage and a shutdown on the Caps. A few more seconds fought, but look at the Blade Color. It's everyone dead. Fnatic are the kings of the West, and they will represent in the World Final. as Fnatic shake hands with the latest opponent to fall under their heel. They will have a familiar one from back in Group D, a team that they had defeated 2-1 in the group stage, a team they know they can be better than. Invictus Gaming, the last hope of the LPL, will battle against Fnatic, the first world champions, hoping to be the latest, the last hope of Europe, the last hope of the West.
And both of those two teams heading to finals with 3-0 victories in semis.
And you can see them right now. One of these teams will hoist the Summoners Cup in the World Finals in just simply a week. Invictus Gaming, the LPL runner-up, and Fnatic, the EU LCS champions, in 6 days in Incheon. The best of 5 to determine the best team in the world.
This final will be insane. The games they played in groups were fantastic against each other. Fnatic coming out 2-1 after the tiebreaker.
Staging for the photo ops. And I've got to say, really amazing performances out of the Fnatic players here. Caps was the better mid laner all day. Bwipo the better top laner all day. Matching up against the Shy and Rookie, potentially the best top laner and mid laner in the world. The Fnatic can certainly challenge that notion here. It's going to be some exciting matchups across this one. Rookie, well, he's won an LCK title, looking for a world championship now for himself.
The entire year for all of these players leading up to this moment.
Well, for more on this 3-0 sweep from Fnatic and a look ahead to the World Finals, let's send it over to the World's Cooldown.
Thank you very much, Freak, and welcome to World's Cooldown. All of the players, both on Fnatic and Invictus Gaming, they're taking a much-deserved opportunity to huddle around the trophy they'll be fighting for in just a week's time, but also take some photos, kind of bask in the glory of the moment. We followed quarterfinals, where we saw both tournament favorites get knocked out in 5-game series, where heads immediately turned to both IG and Fnatic. These two teams saying, all right, well, if the tournament favorites are out, those are the two we're looking at as perhaps the ones to make a run. IG gets the 3-0 yesterday. Fnatic, not to be outdone, mounts a similarly dominant 3-0 against Cloud9 here tonight.
Made a huge statement, I feel like, with the way they were able to play the draft phase as well as execute within the game as a team. All the solo lane bans they absorbed, the fact that they were able to win any Victor matchup top lane, they really did show a lot of the same strengths that IG showed as far as draft flexibility and solo lane strength, which makes me super excited for what is now a group stage rematch in the finals.
Yeah, it's like the versatility, the early game, the late game. It felt like Invictus Gaming threw down the gauntlet. They have the Jace pick that comes out now. Fnatic, they grabbed their own Jace pick, and now suddenly it's not just a trump card for IG.
Right.
And you have both late game victories, early game victories, all of the flex picks. Like, the evolution that both of these teams have made over their crash course for history is just the cherry on top.
It's a world first to have two teams from the same group meet in the finals of of the entire tournament. And then to your point, Frost, I'm extraordinarily excited to watch the solo lanes go up against each other when it comes to IG and Fnatic because of the way that the Fnatic mid laner played today in Caps, right? We had some questions around a shaky performance for him, within the early stages of the tournament, even calling out Perks as perhaps the better performing EU mid laner up until these semifinals. And Caps really finally showed us why he is deserving of a spot on that top 20 and all of the pre-tournament hype.
And I think there's kind of two factors here. The first time that Caps and Rookie faced, Rookie did get the red side counter pick a lot of the time. Caps had to go in blind, and so of course he's naturally going to be at a disadvantage. And then the other side of that is blue side almost seems so much stronger as people are identifying, okay, there are just over-tuned champions right now. It's about how many you can stack on your team, how confident you are to blind pick them. And so things like the Aatrox, like the LeBlanc, like the Victor are suddenly really changing the dynamics. And it feels like Caps is finally ready to say, okay, you are no longer just going to grab the safe counter pick, which is what Jensen did in this last game. He's like, I need Lissandra because that way I'll be safe. You can't do that. You can't play safe. You must be confident. I don't think we're going to see like another swing grab from Caps when he sees Rookie. It should be assassin versus assassin. Who's going to have more confidence on the day?
Yeah, and I think both these teams have learned a lot since the last time they played each other, and they kind of showed what they learned in these two semifinal stomps.
Without doubt.
I mean, the last time I can remember, double 3-0 in semifinals was 2015. This is much different in the fact that it's the LPL team and the EULCS team doing the stomping.
Right.
So a much different world we live in, but a very fast semifinal.
Yeah, taking a look at the comparison between the two teams that will meet in the finals here. I mean, just impressive stats really across the board.
Yeah, look at that gold at 20. There's definitely, as you can see, better Drake control from Invictus Gaming. Cloud9 was prioritizing those Drakes early on in these games. Often, I almost feel like in a bit of a sense of desperation as Fnatic was winning the side lanes and getting a lot of turret pressure. So in that way, you could say that's like, Fnatic didn't completely dominate, but they really did.
Yeah. A small preview of the finals matchup, but let's kind of re-hit this third game and just put a capper on this series real fast. You already mentioned it. 3 Lissandra games in a row for Jensen. I'll be the first to say I'm disappointed just that we didn't see a different look. Not that Lissandra isn't a good pick and isn't a viable champion, but I wanted to see something different in your potential last game of the tournament.
And again, you can completely understand the mentality. There's so many flex picks going on right now. She can control, I think was the word that Papa Smithy used on the desk. I 100% agree with it. She can control a lot of these really big snowballing lanes. Jensen was trying to do his duty just to lock down Caps, keep him there. But ultimately, you know, I don't think you're the only one who feels bad. I think that if you're a player, you probably feel bad being like, you know, I didn't get to play the LeBlanc. I didn't get to try to do the carry performance. I was just on utility duty. And that's not to say that, you know, flame Jensen or anything like that. That could have just been a Cloud9 decision of, okay, this is your responsibility for this matchup. And unfortunately, they were just outclassed pretty much every single spot on the map.
Yeah, if I had to speculate, they'd want the Lissandra so they can dictate the engage because they got here by being proactive and dictating engage, and Nocturne was taken away from them, so they would need the Lissandra. And there were opportunities, I feel like, for Cloud9 to capitalize, but in any way that Fnatic could beat Cloud9, I feel like they kind of did beat Cloud9. In game 1, you saw them with the mid lane kills and the solo kills from Caps, and then you saw Bwipo getting 1v1's top lane, and even in game 3, you saw a 2v2 solo kill. Like, every single member of Fnatic had that outplay moment on their counterpart on C9.
Almost every skirmish in this entire series went Fnatic's way, right? They either responded just that millisecond faster, they brought one more person to the fight, they just mechanically performed better in the fight. Any of those factors could have been the lever to pull, but it was always pulled in favor of Fnatic.
The thing that really just disappointed me about Cloud9 was their draft. Jet, you called it on the desk, you know, pointing out that Akali, Aatrox, and then LeBlanc were the bans from either red side or blue side, which is so surprising to me given the depth of champion pools that we saw from Cloud9 throughout this tournament. The fact that you
no Singe, no Hecarim. Like, where are all these pocket picks?
Yeah, exactly. Where is the bait? It was like we got the triple flex of the Victor, and that was cool, but we expected so much more from them in just the draft phase to set them up before, you know, they had an opportunity to lose on a macro sets, to lose on a micro sets.
But I think that's also where we have to extend an incredible amount of credit to Fnatic, because if we talk about C9 being one of the most difficult teams to draft against, just by virtue of having those pocket picks always at their disposal, it means that Fnatic had to be ultra confident in whatever they were bringing to the table in the face of Victor flex to the bot lane. Who's going to necessarily predict that?
Yeah, and also, like, Caps pulled out a Zir this tournament. That's just so counter to where it feels like the meta has
Average
been going.
game time, 27 minutes. What's the perfect champion for that? A Zir.
I'll take the 28-minute quadra kill as Zir, actually.
Why not?
And to be fair, it was just a great read of knowing that Lissandra was going to be such a pivotal pick. We've seen Azir go into the Lissandra, and it's just a really hard matchup to play. So again, no flame to Jensen. Like, that's really tough. I would call it a soft counter or a soft answer. He's able to match the push. He can't roam as well, but it's hard just to leave that lane as Lissandra. And then if you don't get to start those team fights in the side lanes, suddenly you lose so much priority in that pick.
Time to hear from some of the winners. For more on Fnatic's impressive victory, let's turn it over to Shox and the Fnatic mid laner.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Caps, who absolutely carried today. I'm just going to put it that way. What is going through your head right now? The fact that you have made it to the World Championship final.
So I feel kind of weird because in a way, I should be really hyped that it's the first final in so long since season 1. But I don't really feel that hyped because there's still one more match to go, and if we lose now, it's probably the worst feeling we could even have. So I'm just trying to stay a bit relaxed, gonna play some more games, prepare for next week, and then win that, and then I can get hyped.
Yeah, okay. Well, I understand that. You don't want to get too overhyped. Can I ask you about how you think you did performance-wise in the match? I know you guys weren't very happy with how you played in your quarterfinal. What was it like today?
So I think we improved a lot since the quarterfinals. Our early game was a lot better today than last time, but we still had some problems. I feel like C9 were really good at, I mean, obviously I don't want to go into specifics, but C9 were really good at punishing something that other teams don't punish. So usually we will get away with stuff that we didn't get away with against C9, and therefore I think the early game should probably, like, the early parts of the early game will be harder against IG because they have maybe stronger individual players, but there's a lot of parts that C9 did really well at playing together that IG don't. So I'm excited for next week.
Seems like you're pretty positive about the matchup. And tell me about that rematch versus Rookie. He said he wanted to face you again. How do you feel about it?
So I think Rookie is probably, like, at least in my opinion, he's probably the best performing player at the tournament right now. But unfortunately for him, that's still next week. And I think after the best of 5 next week, he probably won't even be top 20. So.
There we go. I do want to invite a special guest on, sir. Caps' dad, welcome. There we go.
Wow.
So your son is having a bit of trouble realizing that he wants to stay calm. What can you say about the fact that he's made it to the final?
So wow, it's EU made to the finals, and this first time ever.
Yeah.
I don't have all the histories, but I know that this is amazing.
Yeah.
And he played actually so damn well, so I could kick the ball. So yeah, you're so good.
So what's your prediction for the final?
I'm so nervous, especially the 5 days that have to go now. I don't know where to go. I have to climb mountains or something like that. Yeah. And then hopefully I will have to see something like the previous games, some hard things, and then in the top of the edge there will be a little ration and a present. But we don't know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Gotta stay calm. So finally, Caps, it's lovely that your father is here and your whole family following you. Can you just tell us a couple of words about the whole experience, your family being here, them supporting you for a couple of years now as a pro player and having achieved so much?
So it's really nice being at Worlds. You get to experience a lot of different teams, and especially this Worlds where everyone is beating everyone. It's a really crazy feeling, and to have no Koreans in the final is really crazy in itself, and we're gonna take it.
Fantastic. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us as well. Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Shocks. Proud father, rightfully so, as again, Caps in particular stepped up in this series to make it a swift 3-0. I love the way he's talking about that matchup against Rookie, giving him the respect as the best performing player in the tournament, but saying we've still got 1 week left to go to change that whole narrative.
It's the confidence, and Cap sounds really confident, and that's what you want. This meta is all about the micro outplays. It's about playing on that moment, playing in that spotlight, and it sounds like Caps has the confidence to do it.
Yeah, and looking at their run, first place in the group stage, 6-1, 3-1 quarters, 3-0 semis. They're 12-2 at the World Championship.
It's an impressive
they have been dominant when you look back at it.
Without a doubt. Fnatic smashed their way to the finals, and a couple of players showed the additional flair necessary to earn themselves MasterCard Players of the Game. For the 3-game series, it was Caps twice, and then Whippo picking it up for that 3rd game.
Solo lanes. Saw all the bans towards it. It didn't even help at all, it felt like, with the way Caps and Whippo were playing in those solo lanes. Got to shout out Broxa as well, because he had total control of the jungle, and any solo laner will tell you how much jungle pressure and jungle difference matters. So Broxa, the honorable mention, even though he didn't get a nod for an individual game.
And I will say this, over the course of those games when we were discussing, who's going to be player of the game, it's always just like, this feels like a Fnatic win. Like everyone is doing their part. And then it was at kind of like the very end that like Caps would pop off and get like a quadra. Like, give it to Caps, give it to Caps. But Fnatic right now, just across the board, I know special shout out to Broxa, but also Reckless and Hilly have just been so consistent.
Super solid.
Solo lanes in both series got him for all 3 games, the POGs. And so again, just really furthering the idea that the finals matchup could hinge on the performance of just a few individuals. Well, when you're looking for a spot at the World Final, pros might aim to hard carry or to out-macro their opponent. Then there are the players who spend everything just to defend a turret to say, I'm helping. Presented by State Farm. In his series today versus Cloud9, Fnatic's Hylissang stalls out mid perfectly to guarantee Fnatic first turret.
Look how low this wave is. This could die this very wave right here unless C9 rush it down faster. They are staying, but Brox has cleared the wave away. And hard CC for Hylissang. He might lose his life, but he saves the turret. It gives first turret gold to Reckless.
And I think the hero moment is that Hilly was still supporting his ADC across
From the mid
map.
lane. Yeah, that's 600 gold going directly into Reckless's
Yeah.
pocket there early in the game. And so as a Sivir who's trying to scale to late, that feels good.
Yeah, it helps so much. And Reckless didn't get any accolades this game, other than the fact that he's in the final, right? Even going back to the EDG series, he just doesn't die in the first 15 minutes of the game, but he's not falling behind in CS and he's not losing his turret. When you're playing a solo lane focused game, that's exactly what you need in the bottom lane.
Yeah, knows his role on the team in this tournament and this meta. With today's victory, though, we've locked in our teams competing for the Summoners Cup. Fnatic complimented Invictus Gaming's 3-0 with one of their own as both teams try to maintain momentum as they clash in Incheon.
Oh my goodness. Shout out to Group D. G-Rex and 100 Thieves, I'm sorry. You're in the group with Titans, Fnatic and Invictus Gaming.
Exactly. It wasn't G-Rex and 100 Thieves. They were actually just in the group with the 2 world finalists.
They would have had a shot, man, anywhere else.
Any other group.
But let's talk about these two teams because, interestingly enough, there is history here.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Between both these teams, the regions, everything. Fnatic, obviously, the winners of Season 1, and now they get another shot at the finals.
Yeah, this feels so much like a throwback to earlier days of League of Legends. And I'm someone who's been casting since 2012, and I actually remember Reckless's first tournament. It was IPL 5 because he wasn't able to play on Fnatic. He was too young, but IPL 5 he was allowed to play in.
Right.
And that was a tournament that had the defended world champions, TPA, had a Korea team, Azubu Blaze, and Reckless and Fnatic, with Reckless and Soaz, actually made it all the way to the finals, only to be beaten by the Chinese team, Team WE. And then after that, Korea won forever. But that is kind of on the back burner this year. So to have these two teams emerge, IG always kind of been there in the LPL, never quite at the top, and both these teams now having that opportunity this late into League of Legends life, like this mature sport where I really feel like it was totally new back then, is such an accomplishment for both of these teams, and I can't wait to see who wins.
So a rematch for the regions when it comes to a finals in that sense, but also a rematch for these teams in particular, just as we mentioned, both coming from Group D. Fnatic was the 1 seed coming out of that group, and so you would expect at least some amount of confidence knowing that they bested IG when it came to the group stage.
But it was just such a different animal back then. I don't want to take anything away from Fnatic. You know, maybe this is the IG bias lens coming through, but ultimately we were playing things like Sion and Kai'Sa. You know, it was a very different look from IG. The meta has progressed, the tournament has progressed, and now it feels like both of these teams have assembled the versatility, the micro, the macro, and we're going to see them in their best form really clash for what was previously a best of 3 that was basically just a highlights montage. You just take any of the clips of those crazy plays from both sides.
Right, these teams played before the LeBlanc went 8-0 in knockout stage, before the Scions disappeared from the top lane, and before the Victors started showing up in every lane on the map. And so, again, while they have played and there is some history that we can point to even from this tournament, I don't expect this next best of 5 to play out anything like it.
Yeah, and I have no sources on this, but I am pretty sure they were scrimming each other this week. Like the first pick LeBlanc priority for both teams, the early Jace priority as a pick against Aatrox. I feel like they kind of knew in their heads, they're like, okay, IG is the best team, we're the best team, let's scrim to make sure we get there, and then in the next week, then we'll try and prepare against them. And I completely agree with Frost Curran. It's a whole new animal.
Right, so then do your best for me in imagining a week from now how IG and Fnatic match up against each other. Because as you mentioned today, it felt like Fnatic just kind of across the board outclassed C9. But the same thing can be said about IG against G2, and so where do you expect IG to over-index as compared to Fnatic, and for Fnatic to do the same?
I'll give you kind of the two strengths of both squads. Fnatic are the better team fighters than Invictus Gaming. IG have never been good team fighters. They've always been good skirmishers. They are getting better at it, but comparatively to a lot of the team fighting that we see in the LPL, RNG always had them there, which is why RNG always had IG's number. They were always able to beat them because they'd stall it out late game and then they'd just out-team fight them. But I do believe that Invictus Gaming solo laners in the Shy and Rookie are better than Bwipo and Caps. I think it will be very matchup dependent, so Fnatic can gain ground there. But we saw Rookie, he just perfect CS. He knows exactly when to roam. He knows how to kill. He's the best performing member of the tournament. And maybe Caps and Bwipo can shut me up here. But ultimately, early game, I have to give it to IG and the stronger solo laners. But late game, I think if Fnatic could actually have a win condition there that stall it out, have Reckless on Sivir, and just say, we'll see you in the 5v5. We know this has been your Achilles heel all year long.
I think Fnatic has an edge in team play and communication.
Yep.
But if IG is to win the series, it's because the Shy and Rookie are amazing.
It's just too good.
Right? And that's going to be what I'm specifically watching in that series.
Well, to get another pro's insight on Fnatic's climb, Shox is standing by with Fnatic's top laner.
Thank you very much, guys. We both can't contain our joy and our laughter. How do you feel about this, Mr. Bwipo? Your first year as a professional player, by the way.
I mean, I was in LCL, right? So, I mean, first year on the big stage, I guess. Now that I think about it, I actually realized that we were just kind of better across the board. Kind of what was expected. But still, you don't tell yourself that before you play. Yeah, it went a lot easier than expected. We thought they had more prepared. We were better prepared. I feel like their counter pick into Victor was very poor. He wasn't very good at playing it either. So, I mean, to me, the reason I'm kind of disappointed because there was a lot of hype around, oh, we're both rookies and we're both good, and then he kind of picks a really shitty matchup where I can just smash him. So, I did.
Oh. Is this one of those that you're going to regret later, or?
Oh, I mean, like, this time around, I'm not going to say I'm going to smash the next guy.
Yeah,
it's just more like, that's kind of what happened, no?
Yeah.
I think I just literally said what happened.
Okay.
He picked a shitty champion into a good champion, and I won.
So let's then talk about the Shy, because I interviewed him yesterday. Of course, you played versus him already, and he said, well, yes, there's nobody who can beat me. How are you looking forward to that rematch in general?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it a lot. I think that, you know, like yesterday they banned Victor every game, and I think I got to show why people ban Victor every game. So I don't expect I'll get to cheat the lane matchup with the champion. I think Jace is a champion we both are playing, so, you know, I didn't look quite as dominant as he did. I should have, you know, I was holding back, but like holding back in the sense of like a lot of high plays in mind, but I'm like, all right, let's just slow down, play the game, like, you know, just win. Nerves, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to say, like, kind of surreal.
Yeah.
I think we beat IG before. I think we can do it again. So like just the thought of you're going into World Finals with the idea that it's winnable, right? And you have to imagine that. Is that really, you know, is that really a thing right now? Like 2018.
It's surreal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's surreal.
Like, every single World Finals where it was an Asian team against a Western team, which is none. I mean, just think about it. Most of the time, there's like a Korean team, and everyone's like, you know, they can't lose. But now it's actually it's a match. There's going to be some League of Legends to be played, and I'm going to love it. So I look forward to playing against the Shy. He said nobody can beat him, so, you know, maybe I can shut him up. Yeah. Maybe I don't. You know, maybe I get shit on. You know.
You even have me for a loss of words with how much and how fast you're talking, but you're very excited.
I mean, I'm excited, but it's also in the sense that I don't know. It's hard to put in the words because I feel like everybody worked really hard for this, and I said in an interview earlier is that like at the end of the day, like Reckless, Soaz, especially even Hilly, have worked for years for this, and then you know, it's here now. Yeah. This is their opportunity, my opportunity, and I hope I can just keep up the performance to get them there, right? Because I feel like today I had a pretty good game.
One shot, one opportunity. Finally, just for the fans out there, they love your face cams. Do you want to do just like one or two Bwipo emotes? I'll do it with you. Which one do you want to do?
I don't know which ones there are.
That one. Yeah, I've heard. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Bwipo. Congratulations. Very fun interview. He's excited, guys. Why wouldn't you be? Going to the finals. Back over to you guys.
I'd be worried if he wasn't happy about going to the finals in his rookie year here. I mean, that is what's so spectacular about this player to me is, yes, he played in the spring finals, but coming into MSI, if you weren't from the European region, you didn't know Bwipo's name. Yeah. And here he's picking up a MasterCard player of the game in the semifinals to help push his team to a finals bout.
And, you know, there was a lot of conversation about where EU analysts were leaning that Soaz is the better top laner to put in, that Soaz was the one that we expected to show up when it came crunch time. But I feel like the meta has really shifted, that Bwipo has, like, the pocket picks. He's got the Victor. He was more of kind of like the mage player. And we'll see if maybe like push comes to shove that Soaz retakes the stage with kind of that veteranship, because he looked good on those Sion games, but as Sion has disappeared, it feels like Bwipo is now, you know, standing up in that spotlight, and it's not just like Caps anymore. It's now this secondary, very young star.
Yeah, I feel it's funny that there's the parallel between IG and Fnatic with the super experienced top laner and then the younger guy who seems to be more prone to carry champions. Like Duke is a former world champion and actually played a lot of summer split games with IG, much like Soaz did, but the way the tournament has shifted has put Bwipo and the Shy in the spotlight.
And what I really loved is Bwipo's comment about how, it's been a long time coming, that you have guys like Reckless that they've worked their entire careers for this moment. When you look across at Invictus Gaming, yeah, there's that experience in terms of Rookie and Duke, and, for Rookie to lift a championship in Korea would mean that it was worth it. Choosing the LPL, my career was worth it here. But then you look at Jackie Love, at Baolan, at the Shy, at Ning. These guys have never competed outside of China. This is also basically their rookie years. They've only been around for about 3 splits total. So in terms of like the experience disparity, Fnatic have so much experience behind them.
Yeah, you contrast that to just previous World Finals when you've got, defending champions, guys who've been in the leagues for, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, all taking up the stage. This is going to be a relatively inexperienced World Final. And again, just how the adrenaline that you could see there pumping through Bwipo's veins, that turns into anxiety and nerves and pressure, right? How are they going to deal with all of that on the biggest stage they've ever played in their entire lives?
And so often we don't get to really talk about, like, we'll mention the mental game, but you never really see it in League of Legends, because it's not like, the players, they're so small on the bottom of your screen, and sometimes you'll see that, the famous Bwipo reactionary pose or something like that. But for Rookie to not buy items in a best of 5 in Game 5, for Jackie Love to be flashing forward and be kind of like gobbled up and eaten, like you can see, for once it feels like in this tournament, especially, that pressure start to crack players. And now, on the World's Finals, with so much inexperience, you can define your legacy day one in that final.
Yeah, it's going to be so amazing. Like, there's a transition from playing at Worlds to playing at World Final as well, just because the ceremony beforehand, seeing whatever it is that is planned and seeing that many people there to watch, like, it's a whole nother animal. And especially with these guys that haven't been there before, like, you could say Saul has been a world championship because he played in season 1. Yeah, that's not a 50,000 seat stadium, right? So I once again,
whole nother animal.
Can we do it tomorrow? Can we just move up the schedule?
Let's go.
We have time. We can do it now.
Rolling. Throughout the weekend, you cheered on your favorite teams and called out the plays that made you proud. So we pulled a couple worthy of being called an Acer Predator big play. First up, Fuzzy Butterbean. Fantastic name. Tried to give C9 a heads up. Warning, caps lock is on.
Do you go one? I think we win. I got one shot.
I'm dead as well. I'm going on the Thunder. Just like I got shot. Win. He killed everyone. Holy shit, Caps. Is that a Penta?
Oh my god.
Did you Penta kill? Who got one?
Oh my Cap!
I think what's so impressive there is that we were like, who do you give it to? You can give it to Broxy, you can give it to Bwipo, you can give it to Caps, and then we saw the play like, Caps.
I like how the team's just like, he killed everyone. Let's go. Like, that's just the reaction.
Well, because he does. He comes out of nowhere. That fight looked like it was going C9's way until the 3-man wall comes out and he just kind of 1v4s. Next up, the lonely dog guy. Not lonely if you got a dog, my friend. Wrote a poem about the IG top laner. My Aatrox is sick. My Jace makes them die. You guessed it right. It's IG's the Shy.
Wonder trying to make something happen, but G2 looked like they just want to disengage this one now. They already got the pick onto the enemy jungler. So many people! That's the Aatrox damage, and the Shy makes it happen.
What? 好可以，你们可以，拿一个 ，go，砍掉一枪，可以，他怎么这么快？砍掉一枪，别，走吧，哎，这可以吗？我没有眼，我没有狼，他没大。
Yeah, and there was a like an LPL mic check of that moment, and my memory of the rough translation of it was basically Baolan saying back, Ning saying back, they can get Baron if we die, and then like a second later, a wow, and kill them because they saw Shy get a triple Q2 and a quadra Q3 and realized that they could win the fight.
Yeah, he's just silently ignoring his team, and he's like, no, I know where this is going, and it's not even worth my time to tell you. It's fantastic. Well, as the remaining 2 teams make their way to the finals, we want you to send your favorite moments of Worlds to @LOL Esports with the hashtag Worlds2018 so we can chart through all the crazy moments of the tournament, and there were quite a few. We return next week on November 3rd in Incheon with EU's Fnatic versus the LPL's Invictus Gaming. The broadcast starts with World's Countdown an hour before opening ceremony at 11:30 Pacific or 7:30 a.m. Central European Time. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here. So now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in Incheon for the World Championship Finals.